Well, good evening and welcome to the Arbor Hills Nature Preserve in Plano, Texas. Tonight's exercise is a battery endurance test of the POWERTAC W.O.F.T flashlight, as you can see here. If you saw the initial video review, I talked about using the light as a cap light, an impromptu headlamp, if you will. In fact, here's one of my favorite boonie hats. This is my headlamp for tonight's exercise. I'm going to be going out into the preserve. Once it gets dark, I'm going to preset the light on high, mark the start time, and I'm going to leave it on high. And I'm going to keep going and going and going, just like the ever-ready bunny, until I reach a point that the output level is no longer suitable for the terrain and time of year. And what I mean by time of year, it's midsummer. All the animals are out, including the slithery ones, and so I probably need a higher radius of awareness during summertime than I do in the dead of winter. So I wanted to point that out. In fact, it's about 97, 98 degrees right now. Thankfully, there's a bit of a breeze. I hope that keeps up tonight. As soon as it gets dark enough to start, I will mark start time and we will begin the exercise. Well, there's still a bit of light off on the western sky, but it's dark enough to go ahead and get started. This is an endurance test and the preserve closes at 2300. I want to make sure I get out of here. Let's mark start time. And here we go. It's only been a little over 3 minutes. If you saw the first video, you may remember this location. This is the bridge where I normally do output level test, and you can go back and compare this to what it looked like when I first turned it on in high during that video. Probably just a few more particulates in the air tonight, though. Time update. Here's another view you've seen before. From where I'm standing, about 35 plus maximum line of sight. Then let's pan around. You know the drill, about 23 to the sign. And then out to where the path curves. Gonna have to finish this up because somebody's coming. Okay, another time update. I'm at the top of the observation tower. Speaking of views that you've seen before, 35 plus yards to that far tree line. There is some background noise. There's some filming going on, so I apologize for that. Time to keep going. Time update. And once again, speaking of things you've seen before, I think we've lost a little. There's a very, very gradual step down, but it's still extremely useful. In fact, in a lot of the areas I've gone through out here, high is overkill. Exceptionally good downrange visibility. Side to side is adequate. In terms of heat, it's definitely there. For me personally, I deal with a lot of really hot lights. If I were holding this, yeah, I would definitely notice it. It hasn't got to the point that it's really uncomfortable, but it's in that what I would call annoyance area. So most people who don't handle hot lights frequently, you might actually be switching hands periodically. Of course, this is the advantage of having it mounted up on a hat. Time update. I've noticed a pretty big step down, so I think we're getting close. There's still a lot of light behind me from the parking lot. I'm heading over here to the playground area. I'm going to kind of just hang around this area because, like I say, I think it's probably pretty close to cutting out. Another time update. We are back to where we started, and I just noticed yet another step down. This is still acceptable, but you can see the beam is getting much weaker. Final time update. The light just turned off about 20 seconds ago. I'm using the light from my safety glasses right now, so that gives you the extent. Essentially, it seems like you get a couple of big step downs to warn you, and you've got maybe a couple minutes from that final step down, and then it's game over. So there's your data point for these outdoor conditions in constant high output. I hope you found this test helpful. The next one is going to be a time-lapse video burned down from turbo. Not sure when I'm going to get that filmed with my current schedule, but as always, until that next review, thank you very much for your time, and thank you for watching the video.